Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So, as you can see, we've got another electric bike here to review. Let's check it out, y'all. So today we're checking out the VanPowers UrbanGlide Pro. And let me tell you, this is the most refined electric bike that I've reviewed thus far. You will not find one welded seam on this bike. Nothing is rattling or loose when you're riding. The battery is UL certified. You just don't see a lot of UL certified batteries. You're starting to see it a lot more, but most of the components are branded and just good quality from my perspective. Really smart design, like once again with some really nice features. Just put it to you like this. This is my wife's bike now, okay? That's how confident and comfortable I am with it. So I'm giving this one to her so she can come out on the road with me. I've really gotten into electric bikes, so it'll be nice to have her out on some rides with me. So this one I feel really comfortable with. Let's talk more about it. Okay, it retails for $18.99, but I can't remember the last time I've seen it listed at that price. Last time I checked, it was on sale for $13.99. And if I'm able to get a discount code, I'll put that up on the screen here and or down in the description box below. So check for that. All right, let's take a closer look at this thing, then we'll get it out on the road and ride it. And my wife, she's not used to having a camera stuck in her face, but we might hear from Mrs. Gadget Inspector herself. All right, let's get into it, y'all. All right, so the UrbanGlide comes in 3 configurations. It comes in the standard, which is similar to the Pro here, which is what I have. But the standard only comes in a small frame, and that's for riders that are 5'1" to 5'9". Then there's the Pro here, which is what I have. The Pro actually comes in small and large. So this one is a large. It will accommodate riders from 5'7" up to 6'3". My wife is 5'3" and she's comfortable on this bike. So for whatever it's worth, but advertised to accommodate riders of 5'7" to 6'3". I'm about 6'2"-ish, okay? Then there's the Ultra. That's the 3rd configuration. The Ultra is the most unique configuration because it has a mid-drive motor. The standard and the Pro both come with the standard rear hub driven motors that we see on most electric bikes. Now, you can only get the UrbanGlide in a step-through design, right? I prefer the step overs, but not gonna lie, it is easier to get on and off of a step through like this. And no, it does not mean that this is a girls only bike. It just, the step through design, it's for all genders, okay? And this one weighs about 70 pounds, which is actually not super heavy for this style of electric bike. All right, you're getting a 500 watt, as I mentioned before, rear hub driven brushless motor. Now, this bike has a lot of branded components, but I couldn't find any branding for the actual motor here. And I also couldn't find a torque rating anywhere for this bike. And that comes into play on hills and inclines. But as always, we're going to test that out. We're going to do our hill test, so we'll see how well it does. I think this one is going to do just fine, even with that 500 watt motor. This is a Class 2 e-bike with a top speed of 20 miles per hour. Now, I definitely like speed. I like my speed, just like a lot of you guys do. But all of the marketing for this bike is centered around commuting in and around town and urban centers. And the UrbanGlide Pro has a torque sensor versus a cadence sensor, which is definitely my preference. I prefer the torque sensor. With a torque sensor, you get more of a natural riding experience, in my opinion. The amount of pressure you provide from pedaling, that's going to dictate how much assistance in terms of power that you get from the motor. With a cadence sensor, all you have to do is pedal just a little bit and the motor pretty much kicks in. If you continue pedaling, the motor is just gonna basically propel you. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I prefer I just really want to feel like I'm doing something when I'm riding a bike. You know what I mean? Even though it's electric and you're getting assistance, I still want to feel like I'm getting some exercise, that I'm doing something. You know what I mean? Now, it comes with a 48 volt, 14.4 amp hour lithium ion battery. And as you can see, it is built right into the frame. It is removable, but it just mounts right in the frame, and it's seamless. It's a really nice design, you guys. And once again, this is a UL certified battery, which is great to see. Advertised range is 65 to 70 miles on a full charge. I never get the full advertised range on these bikes, just like I never get the full advertised flight time on drones. So we'll test out what a 6'2", 200+ pound rider gets in real world conditions. You're also getting a 54.6 volt 4 amp charger. So charging time should be pretty good, actually, with a 4 amp charger. I didn't see any charging time info on the website or in the manual. So I'll try to put up how long it took me to charge from empty up on the screen, so you guys have an idea of that. All right, as I mentioned, the battery is removable. So if you want to charge the battery in the house, you want to take it off the bike, you can certainly do that. But you can also charge the bike up while it's mounted. So you can see the little flap here, and you can charge it up while it's still mounted to the bike. This right here, this is the button that you have to push to actually turn the battery on. So you can then power it on from the control panel there. All right, to take the battery off the bike, you will need the key. You do not need the key to power on the bike or anything like that. This is strictly to mount and demount the battery. And all you do here, of course, is stick the key in, turn it, and you can see that the battery has pulled away from the frame. And here we go. Whoa, that battery's kind of heavy. But there's your 48 volt. It's actually 15 amp hours. I think I told you guys 14.4, which is what was listed in the manual. But yeah, this one's rated at 15 amp hours, 720 watt hours there. And you even see the production date. This one was, looked like May of 2023. And once again, if you want to take it in and charge it, there's the charging port. And there's also a red, green, blue battery level indicator right on the battery as well. You just push this button right here. And to put it back on, you just slide it on in very easily and push it down. You should hear it click. Now you are going to have to lock this. And once you do, that battery is secure. Really nice design. All right, let's take a look at the display and the control panel here. You can see we've got 3 buttons, a 3-button control panel, power, plus and minus. To power on the display, we're gonna press and hold the power button. This essentially is powering on the bike, and you can see we are firing up. And there you go, really nice color 3.5-inch LCD display. And we'll take a breeze through the control panel here and the display in a little bit. You can also connect the UrbanGlide Pro to the VanPowers app, and that's going to get you features like navigation and other telemetry data. You get front and rear lights, and to turn on the lights, you're going to press and hold the plus button. And you'll see the display dim, and then you'll see that light icon show up there. And I'll try to get some night riding in so we can see, you know, how well that light does. It looks pretty small. And there's the rear light. And the rear actually doubles as a brake light, which is really nice. All right, you're getting 27.5-inch, 2.2-inch wide Kenda branded tires. And you're not taking this one off-road, y'all. These tires are meant to stay on the road. Again, this is marketed as a commuter style bike, but from the riding I've done so far, nice and smooth. You don't get a lot of road noise, just a smooth ride overall. Now, here's something I wasn't expecting to see. You get a Zoom branded suspension seat post. And this one has 30 millimeters of travel here. And so far I've ridden and it works really well. Now I am a little heavier then my wife. So I think I may bottom this out a little bit more. But so far, really comfortable, really comfortable. The seat is pretty firm, but with this suspension seat post, I think it's gonna really turn out to be a really, really comfortable ride overall after long stretches. But we'll see how we feel after doing a little bit of riding. Then in the front, you also have a Zoom branded front fork suspension system. This is 80 millimeters of travel. You do get preload capabilities here, as well as lockout capabilities as well. And so far, like I said, I've ridden this bike and you really do feel like you have a full suspension electric bike here. You really do. As far as what I've experienced so far, I haven't put a whole lot of miles on it yet, but so far, man, full suspension bike stock. And I don't think I've had, matter of fact, yeah, I have not had any electric bike so far that came with a suspension seat post. I have the Aventon Adventure 2. I actually bought an NCX suspension seat post, which works great, by the way. But this one, we don't have to worry about it. It comes with it already. So my wife, she's good to go. I'm good to go too, because I'm going to ride this darn bike as well. All right, guys, let's take a look at the handlebars here. Now, this didn't come with the bike. This is my own personal cell phone mount. I highly recommend it. I'll leave a link in the description box for you if you're interested. Thing works really well. It's like a tank. I think it's called Tank. But anyway, that's besides the point. Here, starting on the left, here's your thumb throttle. And by the way, the grips here feel really good. They're, hard to explain. They have that nice rubbery feel to them. You have this palm rest here, really comfortable. I don't know, they just feel really good to the touch. So no issues there. Once again, here's the 3-button control panel, your 3.5-inch color display. You do get a little bell, which is nice. And the shifter system, this is a micro shift branded shifter system, but you can see here, this is the first electric bike that I've had that has had this style of shifter. And it's kind of hard to explain, but it just works really well. You see how it just clicks here? Let me show you, see if I can show you. So I kind of downshifted there to upshift. You're basically just pressing that button. And it just feels good. It works really, really well, okay? All right, here we go with Zoom again. So you get a Zoom branded adjustable stem. And you can adjust the angle, I believe it's up to 60 degrees. All right, so I have this where I think it's comfortable, but you can adjust it forward more if you want, or even back a little, just to suit, you know, your preferred riding position. Hydraulic disc brakes, which I would expect to see on a bike with this price point. So really, really nice to see that. 180 millimeter discs. And here's your micro shift branded 8-speed derailleur gear set. Now, one thing I'm noticing, I don't see a derailleur guard. That's something I've seen on e-bikes priced at various price points. I'm surprised to not see that on this bike. I didn't notice that before. Well, something to note, VanPowers. Might want to consider throwing a guard on here. I mean, just it seems to be something that's standard with most e-bikes these days. So surprised not to see that. But anyway, so like I said, micro shift 8-speed derailleur gear set. And once again, in my experience with e-bikes, they almost always need at least 8 speeds. Even the ones I've ridden with 7 speeds end up having you ghost pedaling at the top speed. So awesome to see this. We'll see if we still get ghost pedaling on this at the top speed, and depending on the pedal assist mode and things like that. So we'll check it out, but really nice to see 8 gears. And then, as I mentioned before, since this is a large frame, riders that are 5'7" up to 6'3" should have no trouble being comfortable on this bike. Once again, my wife is 5'3", and this fits her comfortably. We do have to put that seat down pretty low, but otherwise she's riding it with a big old cheesy smile on her face. And the max payload for this bike is 260 pounds. So if you're bigger than that, keep that in mind, y'all. And as you can see, you do get a rear rack and it feels pretty sturdy. It says the max 25 kilograms. I believe that's about 50 pounds, 55 pounds. So you can certainly put your bag on there. One thing I forgot to mention is the you do get metal fenders, mud guards here, and you got the VanPower branding there. But nice to see metal mud guards on the front and the rear. There is very little to talk about in terms of cable management. You can see there's some cables that are running through the frame here in the back. Very minimal though. But you do get a kind of a party of wires up here in the front. That's pretty typical, right? But overall, it looks pretty clean. I could probably zip tie some of that just to clean it up some more. But as far as I'm concerned, this looks good, looks clean. And the one thing about this bike is it's kind of a stealth electric bike. Because if you're not looking really close, you would think this is just a standard bike. You wouldn't think it's an electric bike, right? All right, I think that's enough talk about the bike, you guys. Thanks for sticking with me. The sun's going down, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and wait until tomorrow to put the bike on the road. But we'll put it through its paces. We'll do a hill test, speed test, pedal assist mode test, the whole 9. Hey, appreciate you. Thanks for sticking with me. We'll be right back.
I'm trying to spend this time with you. Know we overdue what you're doing right now. Baby, won't you swing my way? It's been a day and I've been thinking out loud. I know I want you. Long time since the last time. Got a tab, we can run up.
Okay, Mrs. Gadget Inspector. Let me get your thoughts about your first ride on the VanPowers UrbanGlide Pro electric bike. What do you think? When you went over bumps, was it comfortable?
It actually really was. I was kind of concerned with some of the bumpier areas coming down this way, but it really wasn't a major issue at all.
Yep, so this one has a suspension seat post and it actually has suspension in the front. This is adjustable suspension. So we can actually adjust that. So we can make it softer or harder depending on, you know, your preference. Now, the speed assist, the pedal assist, right? What did you think about that when you start pedaling and the motor kicked in?
So I think it's much needed, especially to keep up with you. So I did, yes. So I saw it was in neutral and I'm like, oh yeah, he showed me how to up the power. So I think I took it up to 5 and it went really well. Coming down some of the hilly areas, we got up to, I think you told me it got up to 20, but I saw the speed get up to 24 when I was coming down a hill.
Right, so the bike itself has a top speed of 20 miles per hour, but if you're going downhill, you're gonna obviously exceed that depending on the steepness of the hill.
Yes.
How about safety? I mean, the brakes and everything. Did you, do you feel the bike is sturdy? Do you feel it feels, solid?
I did feel confident in being able to use the brakes. I think when we went over the rear brake and which one we should use first, I was very confident in using the brakes.
Now, did you use the throttle at all, or did you just pedal?
I used the throttle.
You used the throttle?
I
okay.
did.
That's good. Did you pedaled as well?
I did.
Okay.
I did pedal as well.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, this one has what you call a torque sensor in it. That means it's going to feel more so like a regular bike. A lot of the other electric bikes have cadence sensors.
Okay.
So as soon as you pedal, the motor will kick in, and it's basically what's propelling you. With this type of sensor, a torque sensor, you have to continuously pedal, and the amount of power that you give in terms of pedaling is the amount of power assistance that you'll get. Hopefully that made sense.
It did. And I think I know exactly what you were talking about. And I did like that. I still felt like I was in control.
Yeah. So you're still able to get exercise.
Mm-hmm.
You're still able to get some cardio in because the bike isn't doing all the work.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna ride some more. Any other thoughts about your first ride on the UrbanGlide Pro?
Not too much more. It was really exciting. I enjoyed my first bike ride. I guess you got me out here.
Back where we first began, no plans, all we had was the moment. This text, I know it's a toss-up.
You ride slow. Okay, guys and girls, what we're going to do next is we're going to test out each pedal assist mode. So what we want to do is we want to see how much speed you can get in each mode. Typically what happens, this bike has 5 pedal assist modes. Typically what happens is in pedal assist mode 1, you can go up to say 5 or 6 miles per hour. 2, you can go up to 13, so on and so forth. So it's a really great way of controlling your speed, controlling how much motor assistance that you get. Now you do have throttle on demand. So at any time in any pedal assist mode, you can access the throttle all the way up to the top speed of 20 miles per hour. Now right now we are in neutral, and this is good. This is a safety feature. You cannot engage the throttle, and you will also not get any pedal assist. We're going to go up to 1, and we're going to start pedaling. And let's just see how much speed we can get in pedal assist mode 1. All right, we are up to 15. Let me give it some more and see. Actually, it looks like, let me give it some more Gadget Inspector power. Yeah, we can get all the way up to 20 in pedal assist mode 1. It's just that you're not getting as much motor assistance. Looks like there's a dog off the leash there. We don't want to go back there and bother him. But yeah, like I was saying, pedal assist mode 1, 17, 18, 19, and 20. But I do feel like I'm working a little bit harder than I was in pedal assist mode 5. So a little bit different. I just reviewed another electric bike that was similar to this. But once again, typically what you have is you have a limitation in your top speed in each pedal assist mode. That is not the case with this bike. Okay, let's go up to pedal assist 2 and let's see how that feels. Oh yeah, a little more power. I don't have to pedal as hard now to get up to speed. 18, 19, and 20. Yeah, I think the point is made here. So here's what's unique here. I think because this bike has a torque sensor versus a cadence sensor, you're able to control your speed a lot easier. It's really based on how much pressure you're placing on the pedals. All right, let's go up to 3. Oh yeah, you definitely feel the motor give you more power. 4, definitely more. And 5, definitely more power up in pedal assist mode 5. So that makes sense. Okay, so I think the derailleur is going to need to be adjusted because when I shifted all the way down to 1, it did pop the chain. So I think I'll try to avoid that. But I'm in 2 right now. We're in neutral. We're pedaling. Let me see if I can gear up. Oh yeah. This is definitely doable in a pinch. Let's see, yeah. No assistance from the motor right now. And I'm pedaling this just fine. I think if I had to do it in a pinch for a longer distance, I could do it. It's almost like pedaling a regular bike. right now to a certain degree. Going about 8 miles an hour. And obviously it would be more difficult going up hills and inclines. But, and you've got 8 speeds, so that definitely helps. But yeah, in a pinch, you could definitely pedal this bike home. Okay, now we are headed to our hill, the hill I like to test all of my electric bikes out on. So this is a nice steep hill and it goes on for quite some time. So I always like to bring the bikes out and see how well the motor performs. So we'll do it 2 ways. We're gonna do throttle only and we'll do in pedal assist mode as well. All right, we're gonna start with pedal assist first. And we're in pedal assist 5. So we get the most assistance. And we are pedaling with no trouble. Very smooth. 14, 15, 16. Remember, this is a 500 watt motor. And a lot of times people think that 500 watts isn't sufficient, but look at this. We're sustaining 16 miles an hour. And actually, this is done a lot better than many of the other electric bikes I've tested. So no trouble getting up that hill, guys. Plenty of power. All right, this time we're gonna do throttle only. Throttle only, pedal assist 5. Let's see how we do. All right, I can feel that motor working. All right. Not as fast a pace as we were, hey, there was a rabbit. Not as fast a pace as we were in pedal assist. We're up to 12 and sustaining 12 miles per hour here. But once again, getting up the hill with no trouble. 12 miles an hour up the hill, no trouble at all. All right, guys, why don't we go ahead and ride to the park? That'll give us a little sense of range as well. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect the bike to the app, the VanPowers app, and utilize the navigation. And we've got some folks walking up here. But yeah, I'm gonna stop, get the navigation set up, and we'll ride to the park, and then I'll give you some feedback on my experience while riding. Okay, we are all connected up to the app, and we've got our navigation going. There's telemetry data as well in terms of ride distance, battery level, time riding, yep, speed. So really nice app. And yeah, we're going over some pretty rough ground here, and the bike is doing well in terms of comfort. I will say that I think I made the statement earlier that this bike is not for off-roading. I stand by that statement. This is really for pavement. You know, I wouldn't go over a whole lot of rough terrain with this bike. I mean, it's built sturdy, don't get me wrong, but I just don't get the impression that, you know, it's gonna hold up over time going over a lot of rough terrain. And you can see this is pretty rough right now, and it's handling it just fine. Nothing's rattling too much or knocking or anything like that. And a lot of times you can hear the motor on these electric bikes. I don't hear anything. I just realized that. I do not hear the motor at all. Super quiet, super stealth bike in a lot of ways. So really, really nice. We're going 20, our top speed. I feel like I still have pedal authority. But I'm not gonna lie, I want more speed. I want more speed, guys, especially when you're on like a long stretch like this. But I imagine if I were downtown, you know, commuting through like the city, and maybe I'm in a bike lane and there's stop lights and so on and so forth, 20 miles per hour might be adequate, right? But think about it like this. There's an electric bike out there for everybody. You know, everybody doesn't want to go 25, 28, 30 miles an hour. Heck, there are some electric bikes out there that go faster than that. And I think I'm good at 30, 32. I think that's about the highest I'd be comfortable going on an electric bike. But yeah, very comfortable bike, very smooth. Here we go. Yep, handling those dips with no problem. And I think I mentioned before about the step-through design here. I prefer the step over, you know, I think it's just a little more masculine looking. Not to say that this is you know, just for females, for girls. That's not the case at all. It's actually so much easier to get on and off. It's one less thing you have to, you know, worry about. And I imagine it makes the bike a little bit lighter, you know, a little less frame material with the step through. Someone's got something going on the grill there. Wonderful day for it. And yeah, just cruising, man. Just cruising. And I'm pedaling the whole time. Now you'll get more range when you pedal and you're not just laying in on that throttle. Don't come messing with me. That's okay. The little dog was trying to come after me. But yeah, I like to pedal the entire time because I want to feel like I'm doing something. You know, there are times when I do lay on the throttle if I want to take a quick break or something like that. But for the most part, I'm doing most of the pedaling, which is why I prefer the torque sensor. Okay, guys, so we made it to the park. And I'll tell you, I'm not having any riding fatigue at all. Suspension feels really good. The seat, I wish the seat was a little more cushy, to be honest with you. It's a bit firm, but the suspension seat post definitely is a plus when going over bumps and such. But this is a really, really nice bike, guys. The one thing, I know I mentioned this before, but the one thing I really like is that it's kind of stealth. You know, you at least to me, I mean, I feel like you gotta stare at this thing for a little bit before you can even recognize that it's an electric bike. It's I don't know, it just doesn't shout electric bike to me. So looks like we're up to 10.6 miles and we're down to 67%. So we're down to 2/3 of the battery. So if we were to do a little math, another 2/3, then we'd be, what's that, 30 miles? Am I doing that right? Yeah, so a little rough math there. I would imagine we would, at this pace, we'd get about 30 miles out of this bike. Now consider my size and weight. I am 6'2". I am 200 plus pounds. I am a fairly solid individual. So, you know, the range I'm going to get is going to be less than someone who is smaller in stature and weight. So keep that in mind. I don't think I've ever been back here. Keep an eye out for the pedestrians. But let's see what's back here. Oh, check this out. Danger, high water area. Okay. Okay, so here's another great thing about electric bikes, okay? Discovery. You can discover new areas. I have never been back here, didn't know it was back here, but been out here riding and stumbled upon a new area to ride. How about that? Gotta love it. And there are quite a few folks out here going for a stroll. Well, it looks like they're on some scooters or skateboards or something. This bell is really coming in handy here. Boogie boards. Hope I'm not being too obnoxious with that bell. I just want them to know I'm coming. So yeah, this is by far my favorite thing about getting on an electric bike and just going out and exploring. It's the best, man. Let's see, where are we going here? Just discovering new areas, new places to just, oh, there was another rabbit. There's rabbits all over the place. I like it. Is this not fantastic? All right, so if you're into being outside, get yourself an electric bike. There are so many on the market to fit your needs. You know, if I were to recommend this particular bike to someone, it's going to be somebody who is mainly going to be sticking to sidewalks, main roads, you know, paved roads. If that's you, you're not, really concerned about going any faster than 20 miles an hour. You don't mind the step-through design. This is a great choice. Just the quality of the bike, the quality of the components. It's just a smooth ride. You know, you usually can hear the motor on these bikes. I have not heard the motor once, not one time on this bike. It's very, very smooth, guys. Now, what don't I like? Now, I am the type of person, I like more speed. I like it there if I need it, right? So if I had to say anything, it would be that. I'm gonna actually turn around and go back because I'm not real sure where we're headed there. Yeah, I wish I could get more speed out of it. I don't know, man. The seat. I wish the seat was a little bit more plush. All right, definitely can say that. This bike did not come with a derailleur guard, and that might be a little nitpicky. However, some of the more budget friendly e-bikes even have those. So I've come to pretty much expect a derailleur guard. Now this one does not fold. I think it's much more important on foldable electric bikes. But nonetheless, again, I got to find something, right? Let's see, what else? Range I'm okay with because I'm starting to get the sense that the bigger the rider, the less range you can expect. And I have not gotten one of the long range electric bikes yet. I'm looking forward to trying one of those out. They either come with 2 batteries or one very large battery. So I haven't tried any of those out yet, but that's all I'm coming up with, you guys. Up to 12.6 miles and down to 61% on the battery. So how about it, guys? We've ridden about 15 miles so far, ridden out to the park. I am starting to feel it a little bit from this seat. Let me show you. So the seat, pretty nice, but it's pretty firm, you guys. It definitely is more on the firm side. So if you get this bike, you may want to consider changing out the seat itself. The suspension seat post is a winner for sure. That definitely makes a difference. So going over rough patches in the pavement, no worries at all. Same for the front fork suspension as well. But yeah, man, this is a nice commuter style electric bike. Not a whole lot bad to say about it. I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm searching for bad things to say. At this point, it's just a matter of determining whether, you know, that top speed of 20 miles per hour is sufficient for you. You know, that may not be adequate for some, but overall, I think this bike will make a lot of people happy. I think my wife will be really happy with it. We're actually going to be doing an event here next weekend. It's a 25-mile ride through downtown. It's for charity. Go ahead and get back on the bike and head on back home, and we'll see how much more range we can get out of it. All right, why don't we start making our way back? Oh, one thing I haven't talked about much is the brakes. Hydraulic brakes, they lock up the wheels really nicely. Nothing bad to say there. I mean, I haven't had any trouble at all. Got some folks walking up here. And I'll tell you, this bell has come in handy today. It really, really has. Very nice. I mean, it's just little things like that. You know, some bikes don't come with bells. You can easily, you know, purchase bell. I actually bought an electric bell for my Aventon Adventure 2 because it did not come with even one of these cheapies here, and really comes in handy. You know, and another just another general statement about electric bikes. So, if you're someone who's fairly sedentary, maybe you have a job that requires you to sit at a desk all day, and you know, you're trying to work your way back into being more active. Maybe you're not gonna do a gym membership, right, in January and then stop going January 15th or something for your New Year's resolution. Maybe you're not, you know, you're tired of doing that, you're not into that. You know, this is a great way to easily get some activity in, right? Because you know at any time you can hit that throttle if you get tired, right? If you get winded from pedaling, you can work your way back into getting into some type of shape at your own pace in terms of cardio. I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're not moving now, you just need to move. You need to get your body moving, right? That's key. And there's a lot of ways of going about doing that, right? Of course, you don't have to get an electric bike, but these are some of the things that I kind of used when I was researching electric bikes, and I purchased my very first electric bike, the Aventon Adventure 2. You know, some of the reasoning for why I went with an electric bike. Now, I'm in the gym 3 times a week, sometimes 4, for strength training. I think I missed my turn there. But that can't be it. You have to move daily to keep your metabolism stoked, right? Yeah, and so just to continue that thought, you know, if you're older, this is a great way to be more active, okay? Everybody's not going to, you know, be in the gym 3 or 4 times a week or more. That's just not, you know, something that a lot of people will be able to sustain. But something like this that gets you out, you're moving, you're exploring, you know, and you can go as hard as you want or as easy as you want. I think that's one of the most attractive things about it. And if you've already gotten into walking, this is a nice extension to that. Yeah, you saw the little trail that we stumbled upon. There's things like that. Just really, really nice. beautiful day like this, why not have this as an option? And there are some really affordable options. I think this is a pretty affordable option for what you're getting. It is $13.99, but again, for all the branded components, the really smart design of the bike, it's just not a whole lot of bad things to say about it. All right, so we are up to 17.6 miles, down to 42% on the battery. And once again, I'm kind of guesstimating that I'm gonna get about 30 miles on this one. And like I said, it's not gonna, well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe it will wow you. Why wouldn't it wow you? Everybody I know that has never ridden an electric bike that gets on one for the first time, their reaction is usually, wow, I gotta get one. That's usually the reaction. So, just a perfect day to be out here doing this. Love to see it. Walking dogs, just kind of casual, enjoying the day. 18.5 miles, down to 39%. Yeah, I think 30 is about right. 30, 35, somewhere in there. I have stayed in pedal assist 5 the entire time, right? I'm pedaling the whole time, but I'm in pedal assist 5 the entire time as well. So that plays a role as well. If I was in PA2 or PA3, I'm sure I would get more range, right? Less drain on the battery from the assistance from the motor. Now this is rough. It handled that well, but I don't like going over the rough stuff on this bike. There we go, bump here. Handled that no problem. Rough stuff, handling it okay. This kind of stuff is okay. Nothing like what we were just going over back there. This kind of stuff is fine. 19.2.
All right, here's some footage of some night riding, and I think the front headlight works just fine. I don't think I'll be doing much night riding, but I was comfortable on the stretches where there wasn't any light from street lights. So let's go ahead and talk about range. So I ended up getting about 28 to 29 miles on a single charge. Once the battery dropped below 10% though, I could feel a reduction in assistance from the motor. And then once it hit 5%, it was pretty much done. I was getting very little output from that motor. Now, I was really pushing this bike. I pedaled pretty much the entire time, but I stayed in pedal assist 5 and I maintained 20 miles per hour for the most part. But my wife and I participated in the Grand Rapids Fondo, which is a cycling event for charity. She rode the UrbanGlide and I rode my Adventure 2. You could do a 12-mile route, a 25-mile route, 40 mile, or 80 miles. This was our first time participating, so we went with the 25-mile route, and by the time we crossed the finish line, the battery was only down to 53%. So in theory, she could get another 25 miles out of the battery for a total of 50 miles. That's pretty good. Now we averaged between 12 and 15 miles per hour, and she shuffled between pedal assist levels along the way. I really think the way she rides is more typical for how most folks ride. Again, I tend to push it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this thorough take on the VanPowers UrbanGlide Pro. Give the video a thumbs up if you found it valuable or entertaining. Subscribe to the channel for more e-bike content. And until next time, be good to somebody, be good to yourself. Later, y'all.